Okay, we're live, fellas. Hoya Locker Room, episode 59. We're trying to, you know, bring you something different during the holiday season. We're bringing back a returning Hoya favorite, Ashanti Cook. Thank you again, Ashanti, for, slumming a little bit and coming back.
Thanks for having
Um, your West Coast favorite.
me.
And Matt Taurchini. Am I saying that right?
That is correct.
Class of 2012, and then graduate masters in the School of Continuing Services 20, correct? 2020. Then
Yep.
of course Markham's here to keep everybody in check. We'd like to celebrate Shanti's senior season, just because I think it's kind of underlooked. It's underrated. Some really good things happened after that season, not just the season itself. And then Matt's here because he supported us. He supports us here at Hoya Locker Room, and we think we have some of the greatest fans in the country. And so he's here for that fan appreciation segment, so to speak. But before we get started, I'd like to kind of touch on the current season a little bit. We got 3 games under our belt. And I'll kind of open this up to the floor, and comments about what you're seeing so far, your feelings. It's incredibly early, so we don't need any predictions or anything like that. But you seeing anything as it relates to the current season that excites you, gives you pause for concern? And we'll start with the super fan, Matt.
Well, I would say, as tough as, that home opener at Dartmouth might have been, we're just, we've obviously taken great steps each game to get better. It's a young team, and I think they look like they have fun playing together. And I'm just kind of excited to see them continue to grow over the season, because each game seems to be, a new step in the right direction.
You feel like the Georgetown fan base needs an Aaron Rodgers moment?
Well, maybe something, maybe
out.
not Aaron Rodgers, but, I would say, as a big fan of the program, I went to the Dartmouth game, and it was just so cool to see the student sections filled like that. I hadn't seen that in a while. There was an energy and an atmosphere there that, I hadn't seen in years. And it really, meant a lot to me as an alumni.
Scotty's team stormed the floor at Duke when we beat Duke. We're going to get to that later.
Exactly. But,
you can't have Ashanti anywhere in the room and not talk about the Duke game. I'm sorry.
All right. Yeah. That was a big win, man. I mean, shit. It was huge for the program, too. Kind of like put us back on the map, as far as like being relevant within the college rankings. We was lost for a little bit, but I think that win definitely put us back in the public, in the eye. But I haven't seen a game yet. I am going to the game when they come out here to LA in Anaheim. The little shootout that they have in Anaheim. I think they play 2 games, one on Thanksgiving and one the next day on that Friday. So I'll be at one of those games. So I haven't seen them play. I was a little disappointed to see that they lost to Dartmouth, but they won. They beat American or somebody like that. Yeah, American and somebody in another game. So they took care of business as they should have. So I'm looking forward to seeing what they are doing on the floor.
Markham, have you seen?
I hate that I'm gonna miss that.
Okay.
I was really looking forward to it. There's a couple of events centered around it I'm going to be able to make, but I'm leaving to go home on Thanksgiving Day because my mom's 80th birthday.
Oh, nice.
Happy birthday. Yes.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
That's important.
That's important.
Yeah.
And Mr. 80.
That's awesome.
So.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Yes.
I have
Mom beat out the Hoyas.
all day, every day.
We'll catch the Hoyas next time.
Yes.
Right.
Because I have a 1-year-old, when I can't get the game, it's almost like I'm missing out on something. It's gotten that bad. Like this FS2, I wish we were just FS1.
Oh my God.
FS2 is a nightmare.
It's a nightmare.
It's a nightmare. So that's been challenging. So I caught the American game on like a rewind, and I caught the Dartmouth game, and I did not see the game against Siena. But for me, and I've had this conversation probably with each of you. Um, you know, I, I'm kind of a tradition guy. I'm a legacy guy, and I love the way Dante Harris is. Like he's almost like the energy that kind of fuels the team. I like Eagle Hefe, just because he kind of in the history of Georgetown bigs who are either developing or people
And
take him for
yeah, and
granted.
he's
He's a grown ass man. So
Mhm.
so I like that. And then the kid Caden Rice is just he went 1 for 9 in the previous game and then came back and went 7 for 10 from three. So that's a legit. He's a legitimate shooter just based on that.
Gotcha.
And I love Kerry's energy as captain of the team. I think he seems like he's going to be consistent the whole year with that energy. That's the most important thing. And the freshman class, and we're going to talk to you a little bit about this, Ashanti. The freshman class is inspirational. Like the freshman class is invigorating. It seems like they're not going to have a difficult time stepping up to the moment.
Gotcha.
So that's Billingsley is really interesting. Riley is an incredible athlete. Beard, I look forward to maybe Beard and Dante playing together. I don't know. I think that's a small ass backcourt, but they, they're very interesting. It reminds me of you and Jonathan Wallace in the backcourt.
Gotcha.
So yeah, I just they're fun to watch. I don't think this is a game by game team. Like you can't be pulling things out game. You just got to wait until the end of the season and see how this thing plays out.
Gotcha.
I'm disappointed.
I mean, you just look at the progression.
Progression. Thank you. Yeah.
We can't wait till the end. Like,
well, at the end, I think we'll all be, pleasantly surprised.
Agreed.
Yeah, I think we'll all be happy if we just don't grade them game by game. But I hear what you're saying. There's already been progress in 3 games.
Exactly.
Got it.
Got it. Yeah, but I appreciate. Again, we don't really talk too much about the current season, just because we leave that to the people who that's their job. It's not our job to be overly critical about those things, but we are fans first and foremost, and we do care about the program. So I appreciate your commentary. With that, I'm gonna let Markham lead us into today's episode. So again, thank you guys for being here.
Well, like one thing I've thought about, I want to ask you, Ashanti. When you were there, you had like a major transition going from Estrick to JT3.
Right.
It's not the same thing now because we have consistency with the coach, but
Right.
with the transfer portal, I almost feel like it's every season, like kind of the reverse for the coach. Like you got the team has the same coach, but the coach, like more so than under normal circumstances, has a different team. It's not like the old days where guys came and if they transferred, they had to sit out a year, couldn't go to the same conference.
Right.
Do you think there are any similarities between your experience and what Coach Ewing might be going through?
Now it feels kind of like almost like the pros, like you can transfer in and play right away,
Right.
like, so you're getting a new player and you have to adjust to like the system, or that particular player or that player has to adjust to the system like right away, and they're able to implement them. But I think it's definitely different because, like you said before, you transfer, you sit out a year and you're able to watch and like learn the system and like meet the guys and practice and everything like that. Whereas now it's like they transfer in and you can stick them in right away and implement them right into the situation. For as far as like for Coach Estrick and JT3, when that happened, I mean, yeah, we had to learn a whole new like thing. Like we were running like whole like motion and very inside out dominant type situation offense before with Estrick, and then when JT3 got there, we went right into the Princeton. And that took the ball out of like the guards' hands and, a lot of forward-based situations to where they were making plays and backdoor cuts and reading the defense and what the man was doing. Yeah. So I'm not gonna lie, that first summer when he came, we were backdooring, just breaking it bit by bit, learning how to choppy steps and cut, like the proper way to like actually like do stuff. It was plenty of times like in practice, we would cut and run on the wrong side and coach was like, no, you got to go that way, So it took a while. And I think that that junior year, was a trial period, when he first came that first year, because we were new, we were trying to figure it out. And then, you finally saw in 05-06 season, the hard work that was put in, and it finally came to fruition. We were winning games, we were holding teams to, low scoring averages and things like that. And we were scoring and we were learning to play. Like it finally all came together. And so we went to a pretty deep run in the Big East tournament. And actually, I just watched that game the other day, and I'm still like confused how we lost to Syracuse in the semifinals. I'm like, how the hell did we lose this game? But then we went to the NCAA tournament and had a nice.
Who were the managers on that team?
Justin Zormello, Sir Harrison, and Mike Reed. Yeah, Chops. My man, Chops.
Mike, but I figured out why y'all lost. Zormello and Sir Ashley Harrison, they can't make good Gatorade.
Hey, I'm not gonna lie. Hey, Sir made some great Gatorade. Justin on the hand, man. Sir's was banging. Like Sir's was bomb. Like Sir, like he had a great mix. I don't know what he did, but that dude was fire. But now Justin on the other hand, I don't know. He's it was watery. It just Sir's was on point, man. Sir's was on point.
I'm trying to get Zormello on here. We got to figure out his Gatorade recipe.
Yeah, his joint stunk. I'm not even gonna lie. I was like, nah, you're off this duty. But they did a good job, like keeping everything on point, keeping everything on check, man. That 05-06 season was like, we had a really good time, really good group of guys. We competed. We had a lot of talent. One of my favorite players that I wish would have played more was Mark Eggerson, Love. Super talented dude, like underrated. Like he was nice. Like when we played pickup and everything, like he would get busy, big body. He was good. He was.
So that's interesting. You say that. You wish he would have played more. So you felt like what he did in practice warranted him having more playing time.
Right.
You've been the coach.
Yeah, but the only thing is, I get because he was a freshman, and it's like, who else is he gonna play over? Like DJ was balling, like so. True. Bo was playing really well. So it was like, I wish he could have got more minutes is basically because he was good. He was really good.
So it wasn't like, because what I was about to ask you was like, did he get in the doghouse somewhere, whatever?
Nah.
Yeah, okay.
Nah, it wasn't that. It was just like the other guys that were in front of him were playing really well. So it's like, where do you stick them in, Like they were playing like really well.
So we're into the 05-06 season. I love a perfect segue for me, because Matt, I was going to ask you as a fan, is it difficult to go season for season now in terms of cheering for your team? But just based on following you on Twitter, I don't think that's a problem for you. But if you want to add something to that, I'd like to know what the 05-06 season meant for you as a fan, even though you were. You weren't at Georgetown, but clearly you were on your way. So with that, talk about your connection to Georgetown and then touch on the 05-06 season a little bit.
Yeah, so I'm connected to the program because, both my parents went to Georgetown. They were avid basketball fans. They went in the mid-'70s. So, my siblings and I, we were all raised as Georgetown fans from the get-go. And I grew up in Connecticut. So everyone I knew was either a Husky fan, a Syracuse fan, or a Duke fan. You know, it was a pretty terrible place to be in that sense.
Duke fans in Connecticut? Wow.
Oh, you'd be surprised. I mean, and then of course, you know, you got the kids who would root for UNC because it's UNC, but
Right.
you know, yeah, I digress. But so you know, I just got hooked onto it because we would go up to the, you know, UConn games when they were in town. And I would say my earliest memory as a kid was, you know, we were huge underdogs apparently, but like I didn't really know at the time. I was maybe 7 and I was just screaming because it was so cool to be there. And Georgetown ended up winning, I think, by a bucket. And on our way out, a couple of UConn fans like run up to me, this little kid, and they're like, "We lost because of you. Like, get out of here." And like that, at that moment, like I don't know, it just kind of clicked to me. It was like, yeah, I
You
love.
remember who was on the team?
I want to say it was the 97, 98 season. No, maybe 96 or 97. So I can't remember. I mean, I was just too young, so I don't really remember. But I think I missed Iverson in that sense. But it just, you know, that love stuck with me ever since. And you know, the one thing I do like to say about being a Georgetown fan is, you know, we definitely have some tough moments we've dealt with in recent years, but I don't think we appreciate and celebrate the big moments that have happened along the way. And I think consider myself very fortunate to have experienced a lot of them. And a few that definitely happened during the 06 season.
Yeah, it was a lot of big moments for sure.
So for me, did a little digging on the 05-06 season. And I want to kind of put it in perspective for me. Because the following year, we go
Who was that with all that banging?
Hold on one second. That's my 1-year-old. He's cheering. He's getting his Georgetown cheer on for the 05-06 season. So apologies. You set up the 07 season where they go to the Final Four, and to your point, it clicked. It clicked. You guys clicked into gear.
Yeah.
We had not been to a regional and since '96 when you guys went to the regional that year.
Okay.
I want to give you a shout out, Ashanti, because your last bucket as a senior put us up against Florida in the Sweet 16 game.
Correct. Yes, that is correct.
We lost 57-53. Ashanti's little banker, whatever it was.
It was a bank shot, man. It was a bank shot.
He had an array of
I can
weapons.
see on your face when he mentioned that, you were like, oh, that happened yesterday. I remember that.
It was a bank shot, man.
And I want to give a shout out to DJ because DJ had a chance to win it, I guess.
He did.
Had 3 shots on in.
Coach went in there. He called for DJ to get a drift screen at the top of the key, and Corey Brewer fell, and DJ was wide open. And he's probably like the best shooter on our team, like stand still, just catch and shoot. And he just missed. And they got the rebound. We had the foul, and then they went and made 2 free throws. But yeah, coach designed like a great play. It like worked perfectly, like luck of the draw. But the crazy thing about that tournament is we just like were rolling. Like once we lost to Syracuse in the Big East tournament, I don't know what happened to us, but like we were like on a mission. Like practices were way more like focused, and like the guys, we all like had a sense like what our purpose was on the floor. You know, like we knew exactly the goal we wanted. We didn't want to participate in a tournament. We knew we wanted to win, and we knew we had a shot to win. Because we felt we were honestly like one of the best teams in the country, being that we beat Duke earlier in the year. Who else? Pitt, Syracuse, and like we had some like big wins throughout the season. And like I said, we were just gelling at the right time. And coming off that Ohio State victory, because I think they were a 2 seed or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And so that gave us more momentum and confidence. Like, all right, yeah, hey, we can do this. And
I love that you said we did not want to participate in.
Yeah.
Like I love that. Like that mentality. And it's interesting for me to hear you say that because I remember being upset with your team about the Duke game. Like when the court got stormed, I was
like I understood it. Like I understood why it was happening.
Right.
Did not change the fact that I didn't like it because my mind immediately went to my freshman year, I think it was. And Boston College beat us at the Boston Garden. I mean, it was a crazy game. Dana Barros' dad, like, during the game, like a fight broke out. He jumped over the bench, was on the floor. Like it was a crazy game.
Those were Georgetown games.
After when they beat us, they stormed the court. And like Boston Garden is a crappy arena. I mean, just crappy. Like, I mean, the visiting locker room was like, you know, a closet in Village A or something. It was horrible. But we could hear them like in the next room, and you would have thought they had won the national championship, the NBA finals, and the Olympics. And I remember Big John saying, you see that? They didn't think they could beat us. That's why they're celebrating like that.
Gotcha.
And so when we were all over the court, and I almost feel like it can't be possible, but I feel like I can envision like Roy Hibbert, like crowd surfing. Like it was like folks were high off of that win. And I was like, come on, this ain't us. Like, no. But yeah, it was. I understood.
The crowd, Matt, surfing.
So I was watching that game from home, but man, I remember that one very vividly on TV because I went to high school with a lot of Duke fans.
Oh wow!
I let them hear every bit of it that Monday for day. I mean, it was a lot of fun. I just great memory, you know, great moment for the program. That's a very interesting point about storming the court, though, because you know, in my eyes, I thought it was just really cool, just opportunity for the fans. But you know, that is true. That's not really Georgetown, and you know, it's a very good point about just kind of staying connected and focused on the next one.
I didn't mind it.
It's probably fun for you.
I mean, well, I was in a little bit of pain. I had caught like some crazy cramps in my calves, so they had to like carry me like off the court before like the crowd became too much. But it was fun to see, and just like the preparation leading up to that game. I mean, JC3 instilled in us that like we could beat them, and like the preparation was like down to a T. It was like crazy, and we were like totally locked in. And they were the #1 team in the country, so I get why.
I remember DJ like, talking about that.
Yeah, they
preparation of that week.
Yo, the preparation was crazy. Like it was crazy. Like
it must have been like it must have been because like so many of the guys I've talked to on that team, like y'all talk about that week. Like
that week was, man, it was very militant. I'll tell you that much. Like, and like we didn't, like us as players, we like our routine changed, you know, like we like had like a crazy belief, like, yeah, we can. And so like we didn't like go out. We didn't do nothing. Like we were like, we're very, very, very focused, like have blinders on pretty much.
So, and that's a great story.
Yeah, we did. And we like knew we could win. And like Coach Thompson was like, Sheldon Williams, he ain't shit. We're gonna do this, we're gonna do that. And like it was crazy. Like, and that's exactly what happens. He didn't perform the best, you know, like Jeff and Roy did what they were supposed to do. We switched on JJ Redick. I mean, yeah, JJ had 40, but I mean
it didn't matter.
Exactly, it didn't matter. But everybody else, like, you know, we limit them. You know, JJ's gonna get his points. Like, he's awesome, you know, he's a great basketball player.
Well,
but
I'll tell you, I mentioned you've been on here 3 times, and I don't know if I've, you know, given you your proper due. Like, you're one of the top combo guards in Georgetown history. Like, dude, you averaged double figures the whole time you were there. You came from the left side.
Yes.
No way that's an easy adjustment.
Nah.
But having you and Brandon on, that was my attempt. But I do want to continue to give you your flowers, dude. Like I think, no, I really, and getting to know you you're even more humble. But you're easily one of the top combo guards to ever come through the Hilltop. I do want to ask you, what was it like for you being captain your senior year?
Right.
Did that take on a special significance role for you, or was it just one of those things where you felt you were going to be captain that year?
It didn't have a significance because I don't even shit that you brought it up. I didn't even remember that, but you know what I'm saying? Like I didn't remember that, to be honest. But
I gotta be honest, that was like
that's
the
Cali
moment of my life. Like the
yeah,
time when the coach told me I was gonna be captain. Like, I mean, it's etched in my mind. It's like my last shot, the bank shot.
Yeah, I honestly don't. Now that you mentioned, I was like, oh yeah, you're right. I was. But no, it didn't. Just I just really like that group of guys, especially the 05-06 guys, because like we were friends. We were really good friends. I still talk to the majority of those guys today, and like we had each other's back, and you could see that on the floor. Like our dynamic was very, very, very cohesive. Like we just a good group of guys. We challenged each other every day. Kenny Izzo, Amadou beat the hell out of Jeff and Roy every day and pushed them to another level. I mean, like the Josh Thornton. I remember one time. Oh, going back to the Duke game, scouting report was Josh Thornton was JJ in our for our scout team. So Josh was pulling from like half court on nothing but net. And I'm sitting here because I had to guard him, and I was like, Coach, he not gonna do it. He was like, yes, he is. Get out there. I'm like, I'm not guarding a person 2 steps past half court, And he was like, and sure enough, JJ in the game a couple of times, 2 steps past half court, catch and shoot, 3-ball. And I'm just like, oh, all right, well, but Josh did a good job of prepping us for that win. He was running around off a million screens. He do whatever he had to do. But like I said, the preparation for that 05-06 game, the Duke game was
militant.
Yeah, very militant, very militant. And I think we carried that momentum throughout the remainder of the season. It definitely put more confidence in us for sure.
I got a question for each of you. I'm going to take you first, Ashanti. So Gene mentioned that you were from the West Coast. I'm curious, because I know where you played at high school, the history of it, Westchester. Yeah. I'm sure there were Pac-12 schools beating down your door. I'm sure of that.
Correct.
And I'm curious, what made you, because you always hear about it's important for the hometown coach not to let the guys get out of the city, whatever city that is. Mm-hmm. You got to keep this kid at home. What made you go all the way to the opposite coast? It's not like you said, I'm not going to go to UCLA or USC, I'm going to go to Oregon, and right. Stay on the West Coast, close to my folks, that's when I taught. I was always encourage kids to go to the other side of the country, no matter what school they were, because I think that's an important part of education, being in a different environment. So what was that like for you?
Well, you hit it right on the head, to be honest. Is I wanted to see another part of the country. And being at Westchester, we traveled so much to the other side of the country, so I was exposed to it. We went to New Jersey, we went to Florida, we went to South Carolina, we went to where else? Pennsylvania for some for different tournaments and stuff.
That's a lot of traveling.
Yeah, so we did a lot of traveling. So I was exposed to playing against those East Coast caliber players. And it's a different brand of basketball. And it was something I was like, oh, all right. I like the way they get down, and I grew up being a Georgetown fan. I was a Georgetown and North Carolina fan, North Carolina because of Michael Jordan, but in Georgetown.
Wait, whoa. Pause.
Hold on. Oh, and you could have left that part out for me.
I'm sorry. It's
Like you can't be like
I
after
know.
1982, you cannot be a fan. That's like being a Steeler and a Cowboy fan, a
Hey.
USC and a UCLA fan, a
Sorry.
Georgetown and Syracuse.
He tried to sneak that in too. It was like, yo, grew up a Georgetown fan. Well, a little bit of
And
Michael
then
Jordan.
because of Michael Jordan, like
Michael
he
Jordan.
didn't say because of Jimmy Black or because of whoever, George Lynch. The dude
No.
that put the dagger in you, that's why I like them.
Man, Mike G, the man. You know, Mike's the man. I'm sorry. I know. But yeah, I grew up in North Carolina and a Georgetown fan. And Georgetown because of Allen Iverson and also Coach Thompson and what he stood for. And a lot of my uncles were big Georgetown fans. You know, just what the brand stood for. You know, African American culture and what he stood for Black culture and Black people, and the uniforms are sweet. You know, like the jerseys are dope, and you know, AI was rocking the Jordan 11s with the blue and gray, and I was like, damn, he looks sweet out there. Like that joint is cool. But yeah, I wanted to basically like see the other side of the country, man. So when I went on my visit there, I had a great time. Like I've mentioned this before, I told Gene before, I thought Georgetown was a HBCU. And then I went and I was like, no, it's not. But yeah, I just like that East Coast brand of basketball, man. Like it's gritty. You guys play basketball with a purpose. It's not really the most flashiest, you know. It gets it done, you know, and you guys like play hard. You play extremely hard. And I was exposed to that like my first Kenner League game. I'm up here playing against David Hawkins, who went to Temple. And I'm like, yo, this dude is nice, but nothing flashy. We ended up having like 25, 30, and it was all just like basic stuff, you know, but he just like got it done. And like, I like that, you know, it was something totally different from the West Coast, which is more like, you know, bop, 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 you know, ISO, and, you know, it's a lot of flair and glitz and glamour to it, you know, and I like the East Coast brand of basketball. So I wanted to definitely experience that. And I mean, Georgetown's in the Big East, like play on ESPN every day. You playing against these historic schools, St. John's, Syracuse, Villanova, Pitt, Notre Dame. So I was like, this is the best competition. Like, why not? I mean, the Pac-10 or Pac-10 back then, but was Pac-12 now? Yeah, Pac-12 is cool, but like these cats over here is like getting it done. Like, so that's why. And what was it? They used to have like the Big East, Big Ten, like rivalry cross thing or something like that.
We used to have.
They still kind of do it now.
The Big East ACC challenge.
There you go. Yeah. So I used to watch that too, and yeah. So like that type of stuff was like dope. It was really cool. It was good basketball. So
as a matter of fact, my senior year, my junior year, we lost to Duke in the Elite Eight. We really.
We know.
If you look at the history of their program, that game is kind of like what started to elevate them. Then the next year, when they had Grant Hill, that was Joey Brown, Robert Churchwells, Lamont Morgan. That was their freshman year.
Gotcha.
We beat Duke.
Okay.
At home, just like y'all did. And we didn't storm the court. I'm just going.
I need you to get in here. First of all, I'd like to know the graphic we used for this episode. What game was that? What prompted that? And did you wear it home?
Oh, so that's one of my favorite moments ever. It was my freshman year, early January or early December. I can't remember, but Memphis was in town. Calipari was still the coach there. Tyreek Evans was on Memphis. So, they were ranked. They were pretty good. I wanted to get there early because I was nuts. And I, stood outside Verizon Center for, 4 or 5 hours, rushed in, got front row to the game. And man, I was, just excited. And it was a good game. We ended up winning. But, at one point, I can't remember who it was that threw down a big dunk. I want to say DeJuan Summers. but the crowd was going crazy. My friends and I are dancing, and this photographer standing in front of me, he's like, like, do something. And in my mind, I'm just like, okay. I just like point right at him, and I give him the like sternest look I can. And he looks at his camera, takes a look at the photo, and he gives me like a huge thumbs up. And I'm thinking like, damn, that's gonna be a pretty cool photo. Like, I'll never see it, but whatever. So we win the game. Season goes on, and that summer, my phone starts getting all these text messages from people who are saying like, you're famous. And I was like, what in the world is going on? And my buddy sends me a photo of this season ticket promotion form on how to get basketball tickets that year. And it's that photo of me just like pointing at the camera. And I was like, oh man, like this is pretty fucking cool. Oh, sorry.
We're in the locker room. We're in the locker room.
Yeah. I forgot we're live. But like in the moment, I was just like, damn, this is pretty cool. And of course, eventually my mom saw that, and she was like, all right, well, I'm gonna figure out something. She called the athletic department. They put her in touch with the guy who took the photo. He sent it to her, and true story, she used that as our Christmas card for the family that year.
Oh, that's pretty dope.
Oh yeah. So in my family for a few years, I was known as face of the franchise.
That's great.
Good moment. And that was my moment. And
did you send them a bill for using your likeness?
That's what I was. That's where I was.
No, and it was funny because that's what a million people started saying to me, and I was like, yeah, I should look into that. But of course, there's like some box I checked off as a student that says like, no, we can totally use this. So it's all right. I'm glad they have that promotion and utilize it.
So Matt, I want to go back to what Markham, you had asked Ashanti something, and I don't think you got a chance to ask Matt because I interrupted. But
well, I was just going to ask him, from the fan perspective, like having grown up a Georgetown fan as a kid, and then end up matriculating to Georgetown. What was that like for you? Like to be sitting up doing Hoya locker room with a guy you watch playing? Like,
I mean, it feels pretty cool. I gotta say, like, this is a real honor. Ashanti, you probably don't remember this, but it was the 06 year after a road loss to Villanova. I was visiting campus because my sister was a sophomore that year, and we saw you and Darrell Owens walking back onto campus, and like we told you guys like, don't worry about it, you're gonna bounce back, like we still support you, whatever. And you guys were so cool, chatted up with us for a few minutes. It was just it was moments like that where I was like, this is why this is a special program. Like, my parents always kind of told me, like, people that play for Georgetown are like, good people who do go on to do great things. And, it was that moment to me where I was like, yeah, I'm glad I am supportive of a program that's, just has such great people representing it. And then, just being a fan there from, so I was a freshman from 2009 to 2012. So I saw some rough times. My freshman year was an NIT first round loss to Baylor. Sophomore year was the loss to Ohio University. Junior year was the loss to VCU. And then senior year, they turned it around. We got past Belmont and then lost to, I think it was NC State, in kind of tough fashion. But, it's one thing that I always told people that, would get down on the program at these times. I was like, this is a tough pill to swallow, but, we got some pretty memorable moments to like be thankful for. Right. I think back to a good what if, your senior year on the road at UConn, I think it was, you had some big buckets and just like, sparked a big game. We came up short at the end.
Right.
That was going to be huge, but there was just so much momentum that I was excited about. And you can just tell that you guys were having so much fun. And, I think the only problem was back then, not as many games were, available to watch. So,
Mm.
I'm living in Connecticut, checking these, just refreshing ESPN all the time, trying to get scores.
Right.
I would just have to watch highlights on SportsCenter after it. I just wish, your team got more coverage because, I think it was 4 players average double figures in points.
Yeah.
Almost 6 actually.
Well, yeah.
And it was just great. But, I'm very fortunate to, for all the moments that I've had as a Hoya fan. I think there's been a lot of great things that have happened, and it's as tough as it has been. I think it's a great sign that people are so dedicated and love this program so much. It just goes to show the significance and impact it's had, not only at Georgetown but just college athletics.
We're gonna stop you there because you can't say you couldn't say it any better. And
I got a question for Matt though. I got a question.
Ashanti, your
Yeah,
questions.
please. Wow, this is cool for me. Okay, let's go.
So, what was it like, man, as a student and a fan going to the Big East tournament?
Oh,
Did you
dude.
because I would always look and I was like, I want to sit up there. I mean, I enjoy playing, but y'all look like y'all was having a blast out there. You in New York City and y'all travel really well. I know a bunch of people that go to Georgetown are from the East Coast, so it was almost like you guys were home pretty much, and it just y'all were having a blast. So what was it like as a fan at the Big East tournament? What was that like?
All right, so embarrassing confession for me. I have not been able to attend the Big East tournament as a fan for a number. I've come close a number of times, but things have popped. I was actually supposed to go to the. I know. Hear me out. It's not for lack of trying. It's just one thing led to another. I will tell you this. This year is going to be my first time.
Okay.
I promise you that I'm scheduling that.
All
but
right.
I will say I travel a lot to a lot of different games. I'm actually going to the Wooden Legacy this coming week.
Okay. So you'll be out
but it's just that's the kind of the cool thing is, I've been to so many different venues to watch Georgetown games, and then I meet other Georgetown fans there, and it's just kind of so cool meeting just so many people that love this program and have so much energy. And deep down, I like to think Georgetown has some of the best fans in college basketball, and it's just we're waiting for the right moment to be recognized as that. Because man, I think back to some of the times when Syracuse would come to Georgetown, or I'd go up to UConn. Georgetown fans aren't afraid to give back to those fans.
Right.
Well, I've never seen anyone afraid to talk trash as a Georgetown fan.
That's perfect, Matt.
To the Big East tournament.
Yo, I'm gonna get. Hey, you know what? I'm gonna send you guys a photo when I'm there this year. It's gonna be a big moment for me.
I gotta say, I think that's the perfect ending for today. Jen, we might have to keep bringing fans. I love Ashanti that you had a question for him. You didn't really get the answer you were looking for.
I know.
It's all good.
But I like that. Because you've always been in a position of receiving the question to get the opportunity to ask. We're gonna have you back on just so you can ask somebody who has been to a Big East. I'm just letting you know that.
Back on when he goes to the Big East tournament.
Yeah, we're gonna get a real fan on next time.
Cool. But thank you guys for joining us. Shante, always a pleasure to have you on.
Thanks for having me.
We're gonna have to be more intentional with connecting in LA.
All right. Sounds good, man.
I won't be here, like I said, this week, but when I get back before the end of the year, I'm gonna see you.
All right, cool. And Matt, I'll see you. I'll look for you at the game this upcoming week for sure.
Yeah, dude, I'll definitely. I would love to. It'd be a real pleasure. I'm excited. All right. Well, thank you so much, everyone. This has been a blast.
Be like Sesame Street, y'all three, and I'm the oddball.
Appreciate everybody for taking time out on your Sunday.
Thank you very much, everyone. Hoya Saxa.
Hoya Saxa.